I'm Jordan Hatfield. This is Faster Film Critic. Today on the show, we talk The Phoenician Scheme with Chase Fugel and Dawson Thomas. The Phoenician Scheme is a 2025 Wes Anderson film starring Benicio del Toro, Mia Throppleton, and Michael Cera. He wrote New Terms and Shadowed Ink, a quiet, cunning thief, but partners read the fine print twice and sniffed out hidden grief. The Phoenician Scheme he called it once with arrogance and charm. He now writes his apologies in ink, not contracts meant to harm. It's Wes Anderson. I gotta go a little artsy-fartsy. Get in. We're going cinephiling. Dawson, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
I would like to offer you a hand grenade to show my appreciation.
Well, thank you. I'll take it. Very kind
no
of
better
you.
gift.
Guys, we're talking Phoenician Scheme.
So true.
Are you guys big Wes Anderson fans?
It's hit or miss for
Sometimes.
me.
So a growing criticism of Wes Anderson is that his films favor style over substance. And I don't fully subscribe to this view, but I do find myself inching closer with each new release. Tell me, do you guys think that Wes Anderson is a one-trick pony?
I disagree.
You would disagree.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think his one trick is?
I mean, the Wes Anderson style, right? All his characters are very similar. They're just different names in different places, but all his films look and feel the same.
The visual, how would you even describe his style? The unique color palettes, the bleak characters.
I mean, Wes Anderson is his own genre. Nobody
Yeah.
does movies like Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
Wes Anderson
agree.
is Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
But also, Wes Anderson can't do anything but Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
And so every film feels like Wes Anderson. And that sounds stupid, I know. But, as you're watching all his films, it's like it's the same thing over and over.
Like, you don't have to
story's a little
watch the
different.
trailer and you can walk into the movie and you're like, okay, I kind of have an idea. Because that's how it was like for me for the Phoenician Scheme. It was like, I kind of have an idea on what's going to happen. And it was like kind of weird dialogue and quirky characters and bright colors and crazy shots. And it was like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Do you think Wes Anderson as a genre is a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. It puts him in this box a little bit. I think earlier in his career, he was a little bit more expansive with, maybe expansive isn't even the right word, maybe more typical is the right word, and it feels more normal. It's just getting so unique at this point. It's uber Wes Anderson now to its own detriment.
So I would actually agree with that. He does become more Wes Anderson with every movie. He's constantly trying to
Out Wes Anderson
out
himself.
Wes Anderson.
Oh, you guys
himself,
are like that.
exactly.
I'll just do it more. I'll do more. I can do more colors. I can
Yeah.
do more crazy people.
I can
Okay.
I can be more deadpan. I can
Yeah.
be more symmetrical. I can be more Wes Anderson. Watch
More
me be more
existential.
Hold my beer. I'll be more Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
So going into the Phoenician Scheme, did you just expect another Asteroid City, another French Dispatch?
Okay, so his last full-length feature film that he released was Asteroid City. And going into theaters, I didn't really know what to expect of it. And I had watched it, and I had missed kind of the entire, allegory or the entire, theme of it. And so I had left Asteroid City being like, oh, just kind of a fun movie, whatever. And then later I'd watch, YouTube videos or stuff, and I was like, oh, there's a lot more to it. And so I had almost assumed the same thing going in this one, kind of a fun story. And then this time I was like, okay, this time I'm really going to get, the underlying meaning. I'm going to get, the ideas, the allegories, the metaphors, whatever he's trying to convey. And I spent the whole movie doing that. And then it ended and I was like, okay, wait, I think this one's the flip. I think this one is just kind of a fun, silly story. And so it was the opposite of what I had done for Asteroid City.
So did you like Asteroid City?
I did. I liked it a lot the first watch. And then when I found out all the themes and stuff for it, I liked it even more. It bumped it up for me.
Sounds like I need to watch some YouTube videos on Asteroid City.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that film less than a lot of people. I think the setting of Asteroid City was
Oh, my.
absolutely incredible. I
Yeah.
absolutely love the Western idea.
Yeah.
A Western Wes Anderson, man, sign me up twice. I'm into it. But the story didn't really connect. I felt like that film was a little bit harder for me to get into. Better than French Dispatch, but still a harder film for me to get into. But I did think The Phoenician Scheme was fun. And one thing that was different about this film relative to other Wes Anderson films was the comedy. I felt like the comedy was very front and center here, where in most other Wes Anderson films, they're all comedic, but they're a little bit more dry. It's a little bit off to the side.
Yeah.
Here, it felt like it was front and center. There was a spotlight on it. I found myself laughing through this film out loud in a number of places.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I
I
really
agree.
enjoyed that aspect of the Phoenician Scheme.
I was in the theater by myself, so
All by your
there was,
onesie?
there was no laughing.
It was just you?
It was just me.
Oh man, that'll
Yeah.
ruin a comedy. That will ruin a comedy.
That was a huge part of why it didn't hit for me.
You know, with comedies, the people that you're with will make or break it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely convinced of that. And it's
Yeah,
because
I
laughter
agree.
is contagious. You got to watch a comedy with good people who know how to laugh.
Yeah.
It reminds me one time I went and saw Jerry Seinfeld live. And he's up there telling jokes, and these are jokes I had heard before. I knew all the punchlines. And yet the audience is laughing, and so therefore I'm laughing. In fact, I'm laughing so hard I'm crying, right? Laughter is truly contagious. Watching a comedy by yourself or with the wrong people is no fair way to judge it. Chase, you're going to have to go back and see this again with people who know how to laugh. Can't be watching it all by your onesie.
Just doesn't do it.
No, it doesn't do it. Dawson, did you think this film was funny?
I did. I found it funny. I laughed a lot. I had went with a couple of friends, and we were laughing pretty much the whole thing. More than I've laughed, I would say, in a Wes Anderson probably ever. Asteroid City has a very deadpan humor to it, and there's funny moments in a couple of his others, but like you said, nothing that I felt like was a straight comedy like this was. Like, if I would just put this movie in a box, I would say it was like a comedy film. It didn't have like other parts to it, or it was like kind of a whodunit Pink Panther kind of movie in a funny way, but it wasn't like it didn't have a lot more going for it other than like it was funny, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I would agree, but this isn't funny. I mean, it's not like in-your-face comedy funny, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, this isn't a Dumb and Dumber. This isn't a Blazing Saddles. This isn't Anchorman. It's Wes Anderson funny. And it's more Wes Anderson funny than I've seen in any of his other films, but it's still just Wes Anderson funny. What would you say is the biggest strength of this film, though? Is it the comedy or is it something else?
I mean, the Wes Anderson style. I think that's what's making everybody go see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes everyone go see every movie
Yeah.
that he does. His style is just so cool.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. So artistic,
Eh.
so fun.
But the more it becomes the strongest part of the movie, the more tiring it gets for me.
Yeah, and this plays right into my first question. Is Wes Andersoning himself out?
Yeah, I wish the story itself had a lot more to give or a lot more to add to it, because I feel like, yeah, if you stripped away all of the like quote Wes Anderson parts of it, the coloring and the angles and some of the script, it is just a very kind of simple. He literally lays out, okay, and we're gonna do this and this and this, and we have to make this Phoenician scheme happen. And then they go and do this and this and this, and then they make it happen. And so I think, yeah, the draw of it is that there's all this crazy stuff happening and he tries to make it funny, but I wish that only added to the story. It wasn't the main draw of the whole movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To me, it is the subtle things in the Wes Anderson film that make all the difference.
Yeah.
The little things that are taking place in the periphery, in the background, that most people don't even notice. That's what I love so much about Wes Anderson. For example, in this film, early in the film, they're on an airplane and there's an explosion. And Zsa Zsa Corda runs to the cockpit to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And you see the little windshield wipers on the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's that stuff
Yeah.
throughout this film that I love so much. And that is consistent through all Wes Anderson films. And I truly think that is the strength of his talent.
Yeah, I think so too. The props and production design, and I mean, there's the scene where he's showing the shoe boxes, which is so odd, so Wes Anderson, right? But the way he does it, I love. And then there's also the little arrows that come from one of his 9 boys or whatever, 12 boys, and they come hit the box. Yeah, that's the charm of Wes Anderson movies.
Charming is a great way to describe Wes Anderson. What would you say is the biggest weakness of the Phoenician Scheme?
I think it's the same weakness as Asteroid City, and it's the entertainment value. Especially for me, who didn't find the movie very funny. It's a little bit hard to get through, and the characters talk in such a dull way. Sometimes it feels like an audiobook.
Yeah, if you don't find it funny, I feel like you would really not like this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't show this. Like, if I just had like a group of friends, like, I'd really feel like I'd have to vet my audience a little bit and be like, okay, these people would really like the coloring or the script or like the little things. Like, I wouldn't just be like, okay, guys, everyone come over, come hang out. Cause I think a lot of people would get bored or
Yeah.
just be like, what? This is dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it caters to a really specific group of people and those people like it, but
No, I agree. I'm definitely not one of those people, or not anymore, maybe. I think Grand Budapest Hotel is one of the funniest comedies. It is so funny.
Is that your favorite Wes Anderson?
Either that or Fantastic Mr. Fox.
There we go. Dawson, what's your favorite Wes Anderson?
mine's Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, man. That's a great movie.
I love it.
Bogus bunts and beans. That was short when lean. Those horrible crooks, so different in looks, but nonetheless equally mean. Yeah, such a great movie. My favorite Wes Anderson is Grand Budapest Hotel. It was the first Wes Anderson I ever saw. My wife and I went and saw it on opening night.
Long time
Wow.
ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. And we loved it so much, we went the very next night. We went and saw it again on
Holy
Friday.
Cool.
I just loved The Grand Budapest. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, not just one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies.
What do you think about his stop motion movies?
Love him. Love
Love
him.
him. I think his style caters to that.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Darjeeling Limited?
I haven't.
Uh-uh.
That's one of his older ones, right?
Yeah, and I think it's his most underrated, The Darjeeling Limited. And by the way, if you watch it, there's a short film that acts as kind of a prequel, and I strongly recommend you watch it. It's called The Hotel Chevalier. You have to watch that
Oh.
film, that short, before watching Darjeeling Limited. One of the funniest lines in any movie ever recorded ever is in The Hotel Chevalier. I thought it was so funny.
Okay. I'm
My
excited.
sides hurt. I was laughing so bad.
I'm excited.
And you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it.
Okay.
Highly inappropriate, but very funny.
That's the best.
So good. I love it. I want to change my answer to what I said was the biggest strength of this film.
Okay.
I said it was the little subtleties, and as much as I love those, the best part of Phoenician Scheme is Bill Murray. Bill Murray
Bill
is
Murray
God.
as God.
That was the perfect casting. That was so good. Absolutely loved Bill Murray as God. If I die and I happen to go to heaven, which is highly unlikely, and I happen to meet God, I'm going to be really disappointed if he doesn't look like Bill Murray, because that was just the perfect representation of what God should look like. Bill Murray.
Wes Anderson, Bill Murray.
Love it. I might be a little concerned if Bill Murray is God,
I'd be okay.
but
That
as
would be
long as
awkward.
God looks like Bill Murray, looking like God in the Phoenician Scheme,
Ghostbusters
and
is
I'm
cool.
into it.
I'd be okay with it.
Speaking of the cast, man, the cast in this film is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And it's not at all surprising because the cast in every Wes Anderson film is absolutely incredible.
But Michael Cera was a surprise. Maybe even more a surprise that he hasn't been in a Wes Anderson film before this. He is so Wes Anderson.
I feel like he belongs there very
Yeah.
much so.
He's like such a Wes
His
Anderson.
personality just fits very well
Yeah.
into that world.
Both of
Yeah,
his personalities.
Very true.
Yeah, I would agree. Michael Cera was my favorite character in this film, for sure.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
But this film, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, Michael Cera, but you've also got Benicio del Toro, William Dafoe, Steve Park, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson,
it's
Bill
crazy.
Murray, Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, the list just doesn't stop. And yet, the biggest weakness in the film, in my opinion, is connection to characters. When I see this cast list, I think to myself, this is going to have the best cast of characters ever. And I walked out of the film feeling like I didn't connect with anyone.
Yeah.
That was the weakness for me, is I could not connect to the characters.
There's no emotion and hardly anything that makes them unique other than surface level quirks.
Because they're all quirky, but then it's like, if everyone's quirky, then it's like, okay, well, then everyone is just the exact same. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you don't really relate to anyone.
Yeah. And it feels like he's underusing the actors. There's so
Absolutely.
much potential there. I think anybody could have played any of these parts.
I wanted to spend an entire hour with Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston and their characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to spend another hour with Scarlett Johansson. I wanted to spend another hour with Jeffrey Wright. And at least an hour and a half with Benedict Cumberbatch.
And the whole movie with God.
And
Bill
the
Murray.
whole movie with Bill Murray, right? And yet we spend little teeny tiny moments with these characters throughout the whole film. Character development is the biggest weakness in the Phoenician Scheme. Would you disagree with that?
I
No.
mean, I think there's more character development in this film more than Asteroid City, considering Benicio del Toro's character.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to argue with you on that.
And I appreciated seeing that in this movie. I think Asteroid City was really devoid of that, and this one even felt like it was going to be a repeat of that one. But we got to see a little bit more progression in Benicio del Toro's character and Michael Cera's character.
I think that kind of touches on maybe my issue with the film is I do really like his style and the things he does, but he has, I don't know, such a holdover like people in Hollywood. He can get almost anyone to be in his movies. And so I think maybe because of that, I'm expecting to go in and see like a 5-star movie every single time because he has, I imagine, like almost all the pieces, you know what I mean? Like he knows how to do really cool shots and cool coloring and kind of a funny off kilter script, and he can get all of these really talented actors in a room. So when it's not like a perfect movie, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you could do it. So I think maybe that's my biggest issue with this and like Asteroid City, because in like Fantastic Mr. Fox or the Grand Budapest Hotel, he's able to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He has all of these really talented actors and this story that's unique and all these different things. And he makes a really, really great movie. And so I think when they're not really, really great, I'm like, oh, you can do it. I know you can do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
I would absolutely agree with that. My expectations for Asteroid City were so high.
Yeah.
I absolutely could not wait for that movie to come out. And I walked out of it disappointed. And I will say this, minus the Grand Budapest Hotel and Fantastic Mr. Fox, every single Wes Anderson film for me has required at least 2 viewings before I feel like I appreciate it.
Yeah.
There are times I've seen his movies and I'm like, and then I watch it a second time and it's like, oh, that was fantastic. That was great.
Wow.
I got it. And I have only seen Asteroid City once. There's some people, some good friends of mine that absolutely love Asteroid City. And I need to give that film another shot.
I'm the kind of person where if I watch it once and it doesn't work for me, if I'm bored, it's not worth returning to.
I mean, for most films, I'm that same way. But there are those directors that I appreciate that
Is
I
the
feel like
exception.
okay, this director and this film deserves another shot. Especially when so many people love it and speak highly of it. Sometimes you're just in the wrong mood. Sometimes it's nothing against the mood. Sometimes you sit down to watch a movie and you're just not in the right mood to connect with it. And it takes a second viewing before you're like, oh yeah, now I get it.
Yeah. Do you know what always bugs me about his movies, though? It's like, it's the same thing where you have a certain set of directors that you're willing to rewatch their films and try again, right? But Wes Anderson is one of those directors where Asteroid City, I walked out of the movie with a bunch of friends, and it seemed like they were all trying to come up with reasons to like or appreciate the film. And I just didn't like that at all. It made me feel icky that so many plot points went over the average viewer's head where they felt like the movie was ahead of them and they had to come up with reasons to enjoy it.
I can see that. I mean, Wes Anderson has a crowd. And if you want to be part of that crowd, you got to like Wes Anderson. So, I mean, I can see there's a little social pressure to like Wes Anderson. But Wes Anderson is a very talented director. And I think he deserves a tremendous amount of respect.
Yeah.
Regarding plot points going over people's heads, I mean, I get it. Maybe that's why I need to see Wes Anderson more than once. I mean, his movies move fast, and Phoenician Scheme in particular, I felt like moved really fast.
Yeah, I think there were a few plot points that I missed, or I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, they would give it to you very quick, and then they would move on, and they would just expect you to pick up
and the way
all those details.
The way they do it, the important plot points of the story or important details, they give the same amount of expression or recognition as 25 names of Saskatchewan militant groups or whatever. So much of it goes over your head. There's so much fluff in the dialogue.
Yeah, and that's Wes Anderson. I mean, that's what makes him Wes Anderson. It's those subtle details on the periphery and in the background, those little tiny things that may or may not be important to the story. That's Wes Anderson. Let's go ahead and rate Phoenician Scheme on a scale of 1 to 5. Tell me, what did you guys think?
Oh, gosh. It feels like the movie is definitely not a repeat of Asteroid City, but my experience was. I agree with Tarantino on something that he said. He said that there is an invisible connection between the movie and the viewer, and it's the movie's responsibility to keep that connection there. Once it's lost, it's lost. It's not the viewer's fault. It's the movie's. I agree with him on that, and that puts this movie at a 1 star for me.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
So I completely agree with your commentary, but the 1 star, ouch.
That's
1
brutal.
star.
You're brutal.
Woo-hoo-hoo. That one hurts. Dawson, what'd you think of this film?
Okay, I laughed. I giggled. I thought it was fun. Like I said, I think I just have a higher expectation for him. Maybe I need to just lower it and then I'll be more chill with it. So I would give this movie 3.5. I'm like wavering between 3.5 and 4 because I really did laugh a lot in this movie and my friends and I really did have a good time. But like I said, I think in my head, he should just be able to make a perfect movie every time. And so
3.75 for Dawson.
yeah.
I never got bored in this film. I laughed through this film. I had a good time during this film. I was disappointed in this film. But Dawson, like you say, my expectations were probably just too high. Like they are with every Wes Anderson film. Because when he is good, he is absolutely fantastic. And this film was not that. But it was good. I'd give it a 3-star, solid 3. I think if you even slightly like Wes Anderson, this is a film worth seeing. We want to know, what did you think of the Phoenician Scheme? Please tell us.
Although I wasn't a big fan of the Phoenician Scheme, I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson. And there's a film from 1984 directed by Wim Wenders called Paris, Texas. And I have a funny feeling that this is where Wes Anderson got some of his stylistic choices from. The film is propelled by these deadpan characters who are really emotionally dense and uses really unique and visual storytelling. It's one I'd recommend you check out.
So guess what? Next week we're doing the brand new Superman, directed by James Gunn. Thank you for listening to Faster Film Critic. You can follow us on Letterboxd, Cinetrack, and Instagram. Email us at fasterfilmcritic@gmail.com. Hit us up with questions, comments, feedback, and review requests. And please share this episode with your movie-loving friends.